Welcome to 5 Brews, where I make 5 brews just for you. With Murders at Karlov Manor about to release, I've hooked up 5 Pauper decks that you can try out with cards fresh from that set. But before we get to that, make sure to brew the subscribe button to a nice white by clicking on it and leaving a like on the video, and let me know in the comments below what cards you're most excited to brew with. Anyways, obligatory plug out of the way, let's get to the video. Let's start with the most fun one, 8 Spectre. Karlov Manor gave us a functional reprint of Thraben Inspector and Novice Inspector, both cards being identical. This is a Brews list that utilizes cards like Karlov Rebirth and Experimental Synthesizer to flood the battlefield with creatures, with Mere Enforcer for 3 bodies. For game enters, we have Makeshift Munitions to turn all clue tokens into damage, and All That Glitters to give a massive stat boost to a creature, best on Gingerbrute since it can be made unblockable, or Glinthawk since it has flying. Demand Answers is also great in the deck, has a way to draw cards by using our many clue tokens. Galvanic Blast also helps act as removal or burn spell to get closer to the endgame. 8 Spectre is kind of a mix between Grixis Affinity and Burrow Synth, kind of in the middle ground between those two strategies. Sticking with a clue theme, next we have Izzet Investigate. This takes advantage of clue tokens as they are both very easy and cheap to make, with cards like Hard Evidence that also give us a body on the field, and new card Deduce to draw cards while giving tokens. Secrets of the Key is another clue token generator, and all this feeds into Affinity to cast 3 Frogmites and Mere Enforcers, as well as gives fodder to Sunshot Melissa to deal burn damage over time. If Sunshot Melissa ever gets removed, we also have Makeshift Munitions to close out games. As a top end, we also have 2 Gadget Technicians as a way to bring in more artifact creatures cheaply if we pay to the skies, otherwise we're only playing 4 mana to do so. We can turn our clues into more bodies to swing wide with Karlov Rebirth as well, or use them to draw cards with Thoughtcast being discounted or Demand Answers. The deck can draw a lot of cards and flood the battlefield very quickly. Let's take a break from artifacts and look at the new Pauper toy, Slimes Against Humanity. This card lets you run any amount of them and can give you rapidly growing slimes over time. While you could play it in Dreads, I think it has a better home in Tolarian Terror decks in Simic. Slimes Against Humanity loads up your graveyard with more spells to cast your Tolarian Terror for cheap, as well as your Cryptic Serpents. It also gives you more of a threat in late game, and is much better against Tithing Blade decks, which are pretty popular at the moment. The deck plays a lot of draw and self-mill cards, like Thought Scour, Mental Note, and Consider. Lorien Revealed also lets us fetch out our Tangled Islet from our library to get a dual land onto the battlefield, while getting a sorcery in our graveyard. Slime Against Humanity benefits from both being milled and being in your hand, and can snowball late game when you have multiple and making giant creatures with trample. I settled on 15 kind of being the magic number for it. 20 felt like a little too much, and 10 felt a little bit too small, but I could see it somewhere around that general vicinity in between them. Back on Boros, we got Boros Aggro. Aggro got a few new toys in this set, such as Red Herring, which gives us a 2/2 haster that can also be used as a draw engine. There's a sub-burn theme here with Valdaran Epicure and Galvanic Blast and artifact lands, namely to ensure Goblin Tomb Raider is turned online for us. Dogwalker is another new card, a 3/1 for 2 can be pretty solid, especially against mid-range decks like Terror. If you hit the grind game, flipping it can give you 2 extra creatures for your trouble. Cerodon Yearling is another Boros payoff haster, along with Vyacino First Blade as a way to close out the game. Something that can be finished off fully with cards like Rift Bolt, Chain Lightning, and of course Lightning Bolt. Our last deck of the day is White Weenies. There are finally enough cheap creatures where it feels like it's a pretty competent strategy. Recent Downshift Boros Elite encourages flooding the field, and Seasoned Consultants benefits from it too, turning it into a 3/3 when it attacks with 3 or more creatures. Squadron Hawk is a great way to get a lot of creatures out of your deck and onto the field, as it lets you add all copies of itself from your deck into your hand. Melissa Burglar is a late game card that gets us more cards into our hand, so we make sure we're always drawing into gas. Pocket Watch Phantom is a new card we're playing it too, as it can gain evasion by giving itself flying. Both Inside Choice and Dogwalker give us extra bodies on the field, and Battle Streets is recurable bird tokens. To upstall our opponent, we have Prismatic Stance to stop damage full stop, and Journey to Nowhere to remove problematic creatures. Although we are playing Dogwalker, we really only want to be flipping it up, but we are playing 2 Boros Garrisons in the land slots in case we ever want to cast it normally, and also to let us generate more mana in later games. Those are the 5 brews now said with you. These decks were all crafted with cards with the new set in mind, hence why there are multiple Karlov Manor cards in each deck list. If you enjoyed the video, do let me know in the comments below, and leave a like on the video, and click that juicy subscribe button for more content like this every set release. I've been JPEG, thank you for watching.